Hello everyone, we are from Group 2. The topic that has been given to us is resident status. Let's go further about the content of the topic. First, let's hear about e-portfolio overview. Hello everyone, my name is Nurul Syafini binti Azaha alias Azahar and my matric number is AAT20203. I would like to give the overview of our e-portfolio. This is the homepage of our website. We have the objective of creating this website and our mission for this task. On the homepage, we also provided shortcut to move further to another content on this website. The first one is about our teams. Here is our team's member and their social link profiles. There are also the roles of everyone part in creating this e-portfolio. Next, we have learning section where we divide it into three, which is notes, quiz, and current issue that related with our topic, which is resident status. We have provided information about resident status in notes. Next, people can click on the link to quizzes to test their knowledge of resident status after learning it. The quizzes has 15 questions. Furthermore, current issues that has been chosen are related with our topic. And for more detail, everyone can click on the article link. We also provided the reflection after developing this website. The last one is feedback, where we ask for suggestion on improving our e-portfolio. Everyone can click on the link and voice out their opinion on the Google form. That's all about the e-portfolio. These are the learning objectives for this topic.
Good evening, madam. My name is Vidyasagar. My matrix number is A23B1367. Today we are getting together to talk about a very important part of Malaysian taxation law, which is figuring out tax resident status. Okay, I'm going to start from introduction to resident status. People who are residents or non-residents can get personal allowances, also called personal reliefs, tax rebates, and graduated tax rates depending on whether they are residents or non-residents. The number of days a person is in Malaysia determines whether they are resident or not. A person is usually considered a tax resident if they are stay in Malaysia for 182 days or more in a calendar year. Okay, a person must meet the different requirements, four rules stated in Act. These requirements are based on the number of days the person who is not a Malaysian citizen working for a statutory authority is in Malaysia. To find out where they live, they should meet the requirements in the sections below. There are four rules to determine the resident status of individuals. First, Section 71A or 182 days rule. Under Section 71A, a person is considered to be resident in Malaysia for the purpose of tax purposes if they are in Malaysia for at least 182 days in a calendar year during the basis year. Next, Section 71B or less than 182 days rule. Under Section 71B says that a person is resident in Malaysia for the basis year of a certain year of assessment if they were in Malaysia for less than 182 days in that basis year but were linked to another period of at least 182 days consecutive days including temporary absent either right before or right after that year of assessment. Other than that, uh, uh, tax residence of individuals which determine the resident status of individual is Section 71C or 90 days rule. Anyone who stays in Malaysia for 90 days or more is considered a Malaysian tax resident. To find out if someone is a Malaysian tax resident, we need to look at where they have been for the past 4 years and see if they have been a resident of Malaysia for or stated in Malaysia for 90 days or more in 3 of those years. Section 71D. No physical presence. Anyone is considered to be a resident for the basis year for a year assessment if they are a resident for the next basis year and had been a resident for the 3 years before that. Because of this, Section 71D of ITA says that a person can be a resident of Malaysia even if he or she didn't actually enter Malaysia during the basis year.
Hello, my name is Nurfatin Husna binti Norman. My matric number is AAT20203. On this slide, I would like to tell you about tax resident and Malaysia citizen. The both of these have an individual with different concept. Malaysian are citizens who are identified with the country of Malaysia. A Malaysian can be regarded to be either a tax resident or non-resident depending on the number of days they stay in Malaysia. Meanwhile, an aspirant who is neither a Malaysia citizen nor permanent resident is allowed to stay in Malaysia permanently may qualify to be a tax resident on their period of stay in Malaysia. On the next slide is I want to explain about the practical purpose. The practical purpose is about the electronic scanning of passport at the main entry or exit point in Malaysia. Evidence to confirm the duration of an individual's stay in Malaysia. Mostly in Malaysia, the IRB usually confirm the date of non-Malaysian arrival, departure or stamp on the passport as evidence to determine the length of stay of an individual in Malaysia. The IRB makes a date or stamp in the passport for immigration verification. This objective is to trace the position of foreigners so that they can pay resident tax in Malaysia. Section 7, 1B, Government Servant Akta. Rules 1 to 4 do not apply to individuals who are citizens and work in the public service. Individuals who are Malaysian citizens are deemed to be tax resident for the base year of that year, and for any subsequent base year when they are not in Malaysia. On any day in the base year for the year of assessment, as they have or carry out their employment outside Malaysia or are currently attending any course of study at any institution or professional body outside Malaysia which is fully sponsored by the employer. This slide is overview about the comparison tax resident versus non-resident of individual. Through income tax rate, residents have a scale rate from 0% to 30% compared to non-resident have a flat rate of 30% or 50% or 10%. Resident will entitled to claim the personal relief, but non-resident not entitled to claim. Resident can entitled get the income tax rebate for chargeable income less than Rm35,000, but non-resident not entitled. Business income for resident taxable if deemed derived from Malaysia. Meanwhile, non-resident taxable if through a permanent establishment, for example a branch. Employment income of less than 60 days for resident is taxable compared to non-resident is exempted. The remittance of foreign income for resident can qualify individual eligible for exemption under the income tax exemption. For non-resident is exempted.
Hello, my name is Qasrina Balqis binti Saiful Amiruddin and my matric number is A20203. I want to talk about tax resident of company. So let's learn more about this topic in the next slide. Okay, in this slide, do you know what is tax resident of company? Tax resident of the company is a company carrying on the business or business is resident in Malaysia for the basis year for a year of assessment if at any time during the basis year the management and control of its business or businesses are exercised in Malaysia. When a company is assumed to be a tax resident, immediately it becomes established unless it notifies the Inland Revenue Board RIB to the contrary. Okay, next topic I want to talk about management and control. Management and control is normally exercised by its director. This is typically where a company's central management and control are located. It is also where the directors convene to make business decisions for the company at board meetings. Next slide, I want to talk about branch and subsidiary. Branch and subsidiary is a foreign corporation extending their business activity to Malaysia can be a way of incorporating a local subsidiary and registering a branch. So, a local subsidiary is typically tax resident in Malaysia unless otherwise specified, and a local branch is generally non-resident unless it can establish management and control of its affair or business in Malaysia. Okay, next. Dual tax resident. Do you know a company can have dual tax resident, being tax resident in both countries? A case involving a London incorporated company operating a railway in Sweden was decided, demonstrating that a company can be tax resident in both countries. Next slide, we have change of tax resident status. It have two laws. First, case law. Case law, a tax case rule that a company can change its tax resident status, allowing it to be tax resident in 1 year and non-resident in another year. Second, statute law. In Malaysia, a company established as tax resident for a year of assessment is considered tax resident for subsequent years unless the company can prove otherwise to the DJIR. In this slide, we have importance of tax resident status of company. Importance of tax resident status of company have 5 elements. Firstly, scope of charge. A non-resident company is taxed at a flat rate of 24% and a resident company is charged to tax at either a flat tax rate of 34% or two tier rates of 70% and 24% depend on ordinary capital. Secondly, distribution of evidence. Any dividends paid, credited or distributed by the company on the day or after the day on which the control and management of its business was first exercised in Malaysia. Thirdly, specialized business. A resident's ability to do specialized business such as banking, insurance or air and sea transportation is evaluated on worst scope basis. The fourth is investment incentive. Tax incentive either under the Promotion of Investment Act 1986 or the act are normally given to a resident company incorporated in Malaysia. Last but not least, we have withholding taxes, interest, royalty, public performance, contract payments, technical fees, and Section 4F, income given to or credited to non-resident individuals, including corporation, are all subject to withholding taxes.
Hello, my name is Nurfatin binti Norman. My matric number is AAT20203. On this video, I would like to tell about the pro-planning on foreign income. Remittance of foreign income. Foreign source income (FSI) received in Malaysia by a tax resident from outside Malaysia is now taxable in Malaysia unless the specific conditions for exemption are met. When tax are low or an exemption order is granted, for example, overseas income might be timed to be taxed in Malaysia. At the most advantageous moment, both of the foreign dividend exemption orders are in effect through 31 December 2026. This move by the government of Malaysia was also to meet international best practice Malaysia had committed to adhere to by 31 December 2022. Second is, I will tell about a tax resident. A tax resident is any place where you are legally required to pay tax. The two can be connected, but they are separate things. Having a resident permit in a country does not automatically mean that you are a tax resident there as well, and it does not matter if your second residence is temporary or permanent. The IRB released technical instruction on 29 December 2022 regarding the tax treatment of foreign income, and taxpayer must adhere to this rule. If a Malaysian taxpayer does not match the requirement of the IRB, they should prepare ahead and designate their resident status as a non-resident year of remittance.
Current issue that we use to explain for our topic is agreement between Malayan Shipping Company with the Commissioner of Taxation of Australia. Agreement happened between the Malayan Shipping Co Ltd with the Commissioner of Taxation happened when the company claimed that it was not resident of Australia since the actual business operating were conducted outside Australia, mainly in Singapore. And then the tax authority agreed because that the central management and the control of the company were in Australia due to Mr. Sling's complete influence over the business. After hearing agreement between Commissioner of Taxation Australia and the Malayan Shipping Company, court have made decision to reject because the agreement by Malayan Shipping Co Ltd carrying on business only refer to the physical operation and not the control of the operation. The court implies that if a company's business in Australia includes its central management and control, it is considered as the carrying on business in Australia, even if the subchapter were considered essential to the business. The court finds that the company was indeed a resident of Australia during the relevant year, and its income was derived from a source in Australia. Implication for doing this portfolio for us, we can learn how important of capital planning and organization. Developing a coherent structure for the portfolio requires proper consideration of achievement, skill, and experience. Next, legal literacy. Learning about resident status introduces students to the legal framework that govern immigration and residency. This promotes legal literacy and an understanding of the right and responsibility associated with different resident status. That's all from us. Thank you.